Hello and welcome as today's date comes in that of the 31st of June 2019. All bets, trades, and of the like within each his own risk and reward. For myself, risk reward management is always job number one. Protect your portfolio, try to make your portfolio grow to the highest you can, and take the best risk reward decisions you can in doing such. That's the best simple advice that I can give, but more importantly, what I like to do towards, like what I do towards myself and my bankroll, and I see it grow over a good long-term period of time. And Bitcoin, it's just extremely volatile. This is situations where you have April the 1st breaks out the next day, leaving around 4,100. Currently in at 85, better than 2x. And since then, nice little up move, nice little sideways consolidation, not really going much below the 18 lows in here. Awesome up move, leaving the correctionary phase May the 2nd and topping in here on the 16th of May, but really getting up to this area on the 13th and 14th. A 2 day decline, which makes it go back into the correctionary phase. Lifting off from here, attempting to do so, needing a little bit of energy, getting such you could say here. Back at here, getting a little bit of energy. Now is it able to lift off higher? Question mark. Well, I've been obviously. It looks like it will because it does seem it's doing exactly what I've been thinking it's going to do the whole time, en route to that of the 10,000 high. Sort of like in here. Okay, it looks like at Bahor, I think it's got a better chance of going to here than it did to there. It was close here, and of course it was correct in here. Same thing in here as I was noticing, pretty much roughly around in here. I'm definitely by May the 13th. Okay, yeah, this is not resistance. We're going to next level, it looks like. And exactly that. It's on path to do such. It's had correctionary moves on the daily within it. Those are common things, and that's why I like this front 18 average weighted moving. And simple and exponential would work well enough too, but I like front weighted. And in such, it shows me situations like when it leaves it, how it can have big, just a whole bunch of different things. It does. That's why I've been using it for quite some time. But it does look to me like it's ready to leave it and get above it. If you see price action holding and staying above, well, let's just take a look at this on the shorter term time frame. So here we have the, in this case, the 18 average of highs in at 85, which is this level of support. It most certainly has to get above this. Just even looking at this, if it can hold and stay above after this decline, like if it can find 86 as support and even test into 87, 80 in this area here, and stay above it for a decent amount of time, and I want to put a line in around 85. I don't need to because that's where the green line is. And looking at the this sit here within the single hour term time frame, holding and staying above here. As it goes right now, though, I would not be surprised if this thing is again going to go. How it does it with different intra movements and what little small sell offs we'll have here and there, I really don't know. But as it goes here, to me, next level of resistance is 98.14. And well, last time here there wasn't any. This time here there wasn't any. At some point, it's going to have a decent sized correction. Price action will go below the 18 and we'll have lower highs and lower lows to certain points. And the question mark was it didn't happen in here. Of course, it didn't happen here. We'll see if it does here because if it doesn't find resistance at this level, we're going to be looking on the weekly time frame at a little level here at 12.93 and getting above 13. This thing, if it does it instantly, it's just like a big straight up, like elevator type move that just continues going multiple floors. Then the elevator ride increase of speed most likely will go up even faster. It's unlikely that it'll happen, although it is possible. That's why I want to bring it up because, yes, way, way overextended. But at some point, I'm going to change this to Bitstamp for the monthly. We are finishing this month off in an hour, so it's going to close above the 18 average. The 18 average of highs came in at 68.50. And if I didn't say it on the daily, they pretty much closed right above it. On the daily, we can see the high at 80. I think I did 84.92 basically. So it's looking to have a small close above it. But the monthly one, the more longer term one, first time it's been above the 18 average or closed above it since back in February of 2018. And in such, this was the okay, the bull trend being in a neutral stage and attempting a bear market, okay, correcting such, and now back above it, looking to resume that of an uptrend that it last resumed back in December, because this wasn't reversal of trend. This was it was resumption of trend. There's an up move, band flattening out. Okay, establish support, come back to resistance. No, okay. Well, if it comes down there, it'd be bear market. No, resumption of trend, up it goes. Okay, same thing. Band flatten out like it was in here, establish support like it did back there, come back to the band like it did here, like it did here. This one didn't go down. Right now, this one is just starting it because it hit the band last month. It exceeded it this month. Again, 68.15 is the highs. And that's an area of where, okay, that's like support just in itself, looking at only this. And the 6,000 area, and even a small pierce below, is like totally in play. Like 6,000, 6,300. It really is the must hold area. We look back at the weekly term time frame. If you have any move up here, you like to find support coinciding with the 18, which means the 18 average of highs. Well, it should make next month or in an hour from now, it should be up to about like 67 even. 66 to 67. So a move right there, bringing it down would do it, going sideways and whatever, finding support that way, but holding 6,000, maybe find the 18 average of lows there type of thing. But in a situation, if this just continues to go up, then, and maybe I drew this a little too big, so let's do it this way. If this goes up like this, then now I'm going to be like, okay, let's hold and stay above somewhere in here. And if it goes up to here, okay, well, let's try to stay above previous high. And I'd be saying stay above previous high at 20 when it's up to 58. If you only lose three times your value, then that's fine as far as a deepest pullback. But how often do you go straight up from 3,000 to 56,000? And yeah, let's just do an 18x move like that. No, that's not likely. So it does have to pull back at some time. I guess what I'm trying to say is the bigger that or the longer that it goes, the bigger the volatility goes, and that's just like the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Exactly the same ideology, even more so maybe, within these moves. So a little bit of a pullback or a little bit of a rally might get a little bit of a pullback. But if you have one day where this goes up to 20,000 and then the next day it pulls back down to 12 and loses 8 on the 20, that's the whole normality of the situation when you have the big moves. I spent a whole morning on Bitcoin this morning. I've spent 8 minutes on it now, so I'm done with it for this video, and I want to cover other things. Next is Litecoin, and 132 is the price against Bitcoin on the weekly. Just hanging in there, nothing too much. We got these Fibonacci lines that's trying to get over. Daily chart, it's another the same day. Nothing. One, two, three, four, five things are the same day. Whether it closes here, it doesn't matter where it closes. It's just hanging in there, staying like this little bit of this range in here on the single hour term time frame. Okay, well, it's wrong button. Total range bound in market in here. So you come up, yeah, find a little bit of support here. That's where we're resisting now. But we did in here. So if it's trying to make a move, it's trying to get back up to this high. Who knows what's going to happen at that point? If it does, maybe it pulls back. But overall, with this daily time frame, it does seem poised as if if it gets above this, we could have some decent sized green candles. And although it's this could happen at any given time. This is very common. Well, now and then. I've seen this a few times with Litecoin, where when you have a big move, sometimes you can have something like this happen first, where it goes down first and then up like that. But the whole point of it, when it's ready to go, I like how it's holding and supporting this level from its double bottom formation. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it hits any of these bigger numbers on a break. But you know what? I've been thinking this for days. It's just, okay, whenever it's ready to go, we could have 4 or 5 more days like this. Maybe it's not going to break it. I'll be looking for support on the 18 lows. So I'm going to reevaluate the situation and so forth. The dollar now. What Litecoin USD? We have the pricing at 113, as it has already pierced below the Fibonacci of 126. I would be expecting it to at least pierce above it, coming in at this stage next. And after this high, just two real decent sideways days, and then a price correction day yesterday, which we are seeing it leaving it today. So therefore, on the shorter term time frame, on the 4 hour, there was this down move, and it came right now back up to the 18 average of highs. This means one of two things. This is either the start of reversal of trend or a failed breakdown. For I'm not going to draw the line, but the line is like in here, like around 110. The box would be somewhere around in here, so I can go like that. It has quickly got back to that area, gotten back to congestion. However, because it's now at the 18 average of highs like this, it's either going to be failed breakdown or resist lower. So if there's weakness amongst this 18 lows in any way over the next several periods going forward, and then we're seeing, okay, we break down below support, establish a level, come back to where it is. After finding weakness here, it's probably going to go lower, break down below the support. Now we're going to be in a bear market as it goes to the low 100s, and that would be that. If it's able to break above and hold, and any retracements, higher lows, 18 average of lows, if it could find support at 107 and a half, 108, any of these particular areas, what you'd be doing is establishing support and resistance along the way. And then same thing on the breakout above it, it would be ready to go. For such, we're looking at about like 130, well, the 18 average of highs is 113.67. So holding and staying above this area for a significant period of time should give us a lot of alerts that it's ready to go for superior gains. And amongst its, let's go to its monthly chart. It's going to be very much like Bitcoin as well, as exactly the same, really. It's above the 18 average of highs. It came down from these lows. It was band flattening out, establishing support, coming back to the band. It's not resisting it. Now it's getting above, so it's looking to be a resumption of trend from what came out here from this $4 breakout. If you see, I mean, the normality of something like this. No, I hate when it draws like that. There we go. The normality of something like this. You have a spectacular move as it did in here from 2017. Okay, you have this happen. There's your correction. Markets don't go straight up, and this one had its up move. Okay, the straight up is done. When does this get really, really overextended? Well, probably up somewhere around here, 1600 if it goes straight up, 1200. And those are realistic spots. It could happen well before the end of the year because there's still 6 more periods. You could easily have 6 periods that goes up to here. Maybe there's a pause one or a red candle along the way. A couple nice, really nice green size ones here and there. Don't know if it's going to be June, July, August, September, October, November, or December. 7 months to go. And then the possibilities are there. But it's either failed breakdown or resisting this level. And it sure as heck doesn't look like it's resisting. Or excuse me, it's a reversal of trend or failed breakdown. And it doesn't look like it's resisting this. Doesn't look like it's a failed, or it looks like it's a failed breakdown. Thus, yeah, this could have huge potential. But because of this move, now that it's made the statement up here, now we want to see it hold. The 18 average of lows is starting to rise. Last month it was 54.40. This one is 54.87. It's definitely going to go up at the start of the next month. So the low 50s to me, just by looking at that, seems to help out for an area for a must hold. Do we see any low 50s here? That would be a large retracement, but we're looking at monthly, really long term stuff. And weekly chart here, 50. Well, we got point A high, point B low, point C wherever the high is going to be. So this is a correction within this. And if it has a correction within this, if you can make a higher low, maybe come down here, and even 63, of course, but if it makes any kind of higher low, because the last one's 22 and change. So even 43 would be one. And it could take a long time to do it. You could see, okay, next thing you know, It could be October and we're at 47, or we're at maybe in November at 41. And then times goes by, and next thing you know, we're back to 99 in July of 2020. And then maybe it breaks out above and it does over 1,000 in 2021. I don't know, but whatever it's going to do, it's going to do. And I am Adam, or I do have a high belief that there's going to be a very good gain as the next move over that as a very decent loss. Hence, the reason why I have a very large long position on that of Litecoin. And let's move on to Sky. This is interesting. It's gotten its ass kicked over the last year. 3,600 Satoshi down to 134. Your standard get beat up, try to get back up, 30x decline. Well, since it's tried to get back up, it's only done better than double, which is nothing really when you consider over a 30x decline. This is the weekly chart, and it hasn't finished the week. However, you come here in this period from its low, you have a rally to the 18 average of highs, and you fall below the lows and close in here. Whenever you have a move like that, it's very important to hold. And of course, we're going to look at this next on the daily. That move in here created all of this. So back on this day in here, on May the 15th, when you seen the price go to like 243, or definitely at 270, at the very top price, those who bought at 270, wow. It was well overextended. Now, sometimes it works out. You buy at 270, next thing you know, an hour or 4 days later, it's at 485. That can easily happen because it still isn't that large of a break above, but it was well overextended. It came from 129. It probably did that move in a very large period of time, a short period of time. And of course, you're going to oftentimes go through a big pullback. In this case, pulled back to 174. As it stands now, 271 is nowhere near overextended. And when you have a pattern that looks like this, make this high, come down like this, have a nice little breakout attempt that fails, but successfully correction. And look at how all of these highs each time got higher. Fighting with this resistance here, unable to test this where I circled in there. Did sort of test it here, pulled back, did break it here. There's like a accomplishment in the video game. Oh, we're doing better, and then you pull back, and within this draw and the line that I got in, continuous higher lows, and this resistance was taken out yesterday, and it has held and stayed above it for today's session. Magnificent. Now, I've heard a lot about this being an interesting LITECOIN I probably wouldn't want to be a part of. However, it looks like a good trade. I got a good buy average in here, and I'm going to look for this to have a good leg higher as we move forward. As far as target levels, and I want to take a look at this on the 4-hour time frame. So there we could see that quick little move that occurred. And let me just do the hour just to see. I mean, the big move happened in 1 hour here. It got itself going, but even back in here, if you were looking at it, a horrible trend, failed breakout here. I mean, it looked like it was going to go there. Nope. Failed the 18. In here, not much of one, breaks below. Resisting it here. Okay, so now we have this little bit, just like in here. You don't want to buy it as you see it. Okay, there we go. See, it comes back. When it came back here, it failed. Notice that here what happens is it settles in for a bit, falls. Here it has a green candle up, and now it starts to show strength at the 18. A little bit different in here. Okay, so this is where I want to see hold and stay above it. If you wait for a breakout, be as quick as you can at around like 145, I would suppose. And that's what you'd have to do. And if you've seen like right in there, okay, it looks good. 148 is not a bad price, or put a buy order at 141. Would 141 hit? The answer looks like no. No, it wouldn't have. And if you waited to go to buy there, oftentimes maybe you get it, and sometimes you don't. Every time it was a failed breakout, you would have got it. And in times where it made a move like this and it pulled back to it, you would have got it. And in this case, if you waited to buy there, and of course, if you bought there at the 145 and you were fast enough, you were able to catch this move. And now the question is, how much were you able to profit take? Maybe you had a sell order hit at 175. And then all the levels up here. Did you sell at 206? Did you sell at 226, 256? Did you have sell orders a little bit that missed? Are you going to say take some profit here at any given time because of the spectacular gains? You have many periods in here to do so. At least if you're around between at this time, 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, and you had more time again. And of course, the larger pullback. If you looked at this, you're like, oh, I want to day trade this in the buy low, sell high strategy. Well, you see what you could have bought. Everything for buy orders would have been bought at 185 and higher. Anything left below would have been left to the wayside, at least for this point. You could have put more sell orders in here. Obviously, buy orders would come back. And then, of course, the market has done what it's done. Let's move this to current again. We can see in here how big this trend has been as far as the 18 average of lows currently. In here, second time, third time. This one had some action below it, but it held. That was the fourth, the fifth, and now we enter the sixth. After every single one, this high was barely higher. This one was much higher. This one, of course, was higher. This one was higher, and this one barely higher. So the trend has been nothing more than something like this. It's at the bottom end. At some point, it has to break it. If it breaks it to the upside, and of course that's not where it is now, you're usually expecting to have one large good break higher, like a big gain. Those big daily candles will come in. If you break it to the sideways, if you break it down, then one of two things is going to happen. This is going to go very neutral or down. Neutral means we're going to establish some sort of range support level. One of these levels here probably has support. Who knows how deep the range will go, or where the resistance of it could be a little bit of a price correction, sideways move, and yes, reversal of trend being one of them as well. But when looking at this amongst the 18, first stage is band flattening out. And where have we seen any band flattening out action? Not really here, close. And here, there was band flattening out, but that's it. Now the band is starting to flatten out again. So reversal of trend, stage one, band flattening out. It's only starting to do that. Stage two, then if it breaks below, I'd be looking for support somewhere like in here. And then reversal of trend is something like that. All right then, thank you for tuning in to today's video, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.